everyone. Welcome to Content for People Who Hate Content. Yay! I love watching everyone pour in right now. This is so fun. Who doesn't love a Zoom waiting room where then like everyone comes in and makes a I'm going to mute people. Yeah, if you are not muted, please mute yourself. I still have some people coming into the waiting room. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes before we dive in. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful week. Today is World Theater Day, which is why we are celebrating on today. It doesn't really have much to do with the stage, unless you're like me and you believe that all the world is a stage. So happy World Theatre Day. And if you are in the Miami area, come celebrate with me tomorrow night. We'll be doing musical improv at Just the Funny. I know some of you on this call are local, so hope to see you there. We have so much to get into today. I only want to give it like another minute before I dive into it. This is not go. If you've been to one of my improv workshops before, this is a little different. This is definitely going to be less interactive, a little bit more informational. That being said, please be like super engaged all up in the chats, and we will be doing some live interactive hot seats later on in the workshop so that you can see what we're doing and see it into action. Yes. Oh, good. Jason went and introduced himself. If everyone else wants to do that, please go ahead. You know, one of the kind of hidden benefits of any kind of workshop that you jump on is the chance to pitch and promote yourself in the chat. I mean, I know that when I've been in workshops and I've dropped my information, I've gotten calls just from that. So you never know who you might meet in this room while you are learning about content. So let's see. Everyone can see my screen, right? Everyone can see.
We see the copy pop Eventbrite content for
Yes,
people. Is that your
okay.
screen?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay,
Thank you,
that's your
Sita.
screen. We can see it.
That is exactly as planned then. All right. We are going to kick this off. I have pressed record, the most important thing of the day. One of the things that I always like to do at the top of my improv workshops, again, we're not really like going to be performing as much in here, but I like to set the expectation that there is no judgment in this room. Okay. So when we do improv workshops, I don't like anyone making anyone else feel like they're being judged. And I also don't want you guys to judge me on my technical skills, right? Because that's not why you're here today. You're not auditioning me to be your next virtual assistant, right? So if we have a little technical snafus, we're not going to judge. We're just going to say Jill is good at other things. Okay. So I'm giving myself that grace, and you're welcome to give yourself that grace with other things, like if you're slow to answer a question today. Let's jump into it. I think I don't see any more in the waiting room. Hi, everyone. I want to start with a question. Raise your hand and drop it in the comments, but how many of you feel like you accidentally signed up to be a full-time content creator when that was never in your job description? Anyone else feeling like that? Yeah, same. And I'm someone who loves the camera. I get it. Like, you just wanted to run your business, and now suddenly you're expected to be a video editor, a video idea comer upper, a content strategist, a personality, and you're supposed to remain emotionally stable with all of this. I mean, that's a lot, right? So, quick context on who I am. For anyone who doesn't know me, I promise this ties into everything that we're talking about. I don't just want to show you my cool pictures back from when I was cool in the day. But before I did all of this, straight out of college, I was an entertainment reporter. And my job was literally to sit down with people, whether they were celebrities, pop stars, different personalities, and get them to say something interesting and fast. And side note, Gwen Stefani was my toughest mission with that. Maybe if we have extra time, I'll get into that story at the end. But what I learned from doing this and doing this at a very young age too, is that the people who landed, the people who were interesting to listen to, they weren't the ones who were the most polished or the most rehearsed. They were the ones that were the most themselves. And then I went into improv and comedy. I trained at Second City. I perform now at Just the Funny. And that's where it really clicked for me that magic doesn't happen when you are trying to get it right or get it perfect. It happens when you are present. And now I take all of that and I apply it to entrepreneurs and founders like you who are brilliant at what you do. But the second that you hit record, everything falls apart. And through my original program, Pop Into Your Power, I've helped clients go from I don't know what to say to people literally saying, oh my God, your content is so good. Tell me more. And I think we have some people in this room who are currently in the Pop Into Your Power program. I see Nina, I think Gemma might be in here, Nisha. They have gone from overthinkers to confident communicators. And it was absolutely beautiful to watch and really inspired me for what we're going to do in this room today, because I realized that my clients, they didn't need more strategy. They just needed a better way to express what was already there. And that's what we're doing today. But before I go any further, I'm curious, what made you sign up for this workshop? Drop it in the chat. I want to know, was it a message that I sent you? Was it something that I posted that really spoke to you? Was it the title of the workshop? Do you really hate content? Have you been stalking me? What got you in this room today? Okay, honestly, a lot of people are saying they love me, which thank you. I love you back. But it just shows you that, look at this, the imagery of the invite, the title, your approach to content, love stalking you, LinkedIn post, hate content, the title, all of these things fall in to the aspect of content that is working. Everything there falls into the bucket of content, whether anyone who's saying you love me, thank you. You love me because you know me, because I'm out there posting stuff and you're getting to know who I am. I'm not hiding myself from the world. And you didn't get here into this room today because my content was perfect or because it was viral. It certainly wasn't because I spent a lot of money on my content, because I spent $0 on my content, okay? You guys are here because you felt like I made something for you. Pausing to and let someone into the waiting room and change the slide at the same time. So here's your real problem. Here's what's happening right now. You are a bunch of brilliant, amazing, incredible people. You are amazing in real life. But the second you guys are hitting record, you turn into someone who just freezes and, hey, this is what I'm going to tell you to give you value. Please like me. Right? Does that feel a little bit familiar? And you're doing that not because you don't know what to say. You absolutely have it in you. You just aren't trusting yourself enough in how you are saying it. So instead, you're talking in circles. You're over editing, you're over explaining, you're freezing, and some of you are just flat out avoiding it altogether. And now what's happening is that your visibility to other people, the people who are going to pay you money, it's not matching the talent that you have. And I wish that I could stand here and tell you guys that you don't need content, but I can't say that. I would absolutely be lying to your face. So if you came here for a workshop on content expecting me to say, it's okay, we don't have to do it, we're all just going to protest this together and no one's going to do content anymore and it'll be great. I am sorry to ruin your vibe on that. I am here to tell you actually how important content is. And I get it, because you didn't go to med school or get your PhD to sit around and make Instagram videos, right? But we are living in a world where if people can't see you, they can't choose you. And here's what's happening. People are not just hiring the best person anymore. They're hiring the person that they understand or the person that they recognize, the person that they have been seeing over and over again. And if that is not you, they are choosing someone else. A little bit of tough love, because I know that it's frustrating. I know a lot of you are sitting here thinking that you're actually better than half the people that you see online. And you probably are, but they're the ones that are getting the clients and the opportunities and the visibility. And it is not because they're better. It's just because they're more visible. Someone, can I mute everyone? Make sure everyone is on mute, please. I'm just going to mute some people. Then we'll move back into it. Okay. So here's the thing, getting back into it. I want you to understand that invisibility is expensive. And the good news is that content is not about going viral. This is not a workshop or a party, as I like to call it. This is not today about getting more views, getting more likes, getting more followers. That is not what this is about, because that's not what makes you money. This is about what is happening with your future clients behind closed doors, the DM that turns into a sale, that I've been watching you for months message, and the trust that you build before the call. That is everything that posting your content is doing for you, because people are making decisions about you before they ever even talk to you. When they are looking at your content, they are deciding if they trust you, if you make sense to them, if they get you. And if you're not showing up, you are not even in the running. And some of you are only a few posts away from like making this happen, from someone finally understanding like what you do and why they need you, but you're not posting them. And I get it, because you're not trying to become an influencer, but you do need to become recognizable and referable and easy to say yes to. So no, content is not optional anymore. It's how people decide if you are worth paying attention to and eventually worth paying. Okay. So if content matters, but you hate doing it, then we don't need to fix you. We need to fix how you're doing it. Because right now, this is how most of you are trying to create content. Let me know if this looks or sounds familiar. You sit down, you think about what to say, you try to sound professional, you decide you sound stupid, you over edit it, you decide you still hate it, you don't post it, and you repeat the same process next week. Who feels a little called out right now? I've been there too, and I'm a theater person. So if someone who loves being on stage and loves the camera is still feeling content overload, this is how I know that you guys are feeling it too, because some of you hate the camera with a passion. So I can only imagine how much more difficult it feels. And when you go through this process, you're making it mean that you're bad at content. And you're not. I want you to reframe that. You are not, because that's just going to get you in a bad cycle. You are not bad at content. You're just trying to perform instead of having a conversation, which is what social media is really all about. So content only feels hard when you're trying to sound like someone you're not. Think about when you're talking to a friend and you're clear and you're interesting and you actually make sense. And it's because you're in the moment and you're not overthinking it. You know what to say in those situations. You just don't trust yourself in how to say it in these content situations. And then the second you start overthinking, you lose your whole personality, you lose your clarity, and you lose the part that people actually care about and the part that people are going to pay for. So instead of trying to become better at content, I want to make content feel more like how you actually communicate. So let's jump into a few easy content tips. And then after that, we're going to do a few hot seats. So if you already know that you want a little bit of guidance today, just write hot seat in the chat. Again, this is much lower stakes than any of my improv parties that you've ever seen. It's just going to be some questioning. Okay, I can see I already don't have to convince you, so I won't over convince. Let's just jump into some of these tips. Oops, missed a slide. See? Let me let you gaze at that for a second. I already covered it. All right, so the first tip, repetition helps build patterns. So make repetition your best friend. This is one of my favorite things to tell clients because it actually eases your workload a lot. Because you don't need more content ideas. You don't constantly need to be generating what to talk about. You just need to say the same thing multiple times in different ways. I know that goes against your instinct. You don't want to be repetitive, but repeating things over and over and on different platforms guarantees that no one in your audience misses it. Think about it. If I had only posted about this workshop once, or if I had only posted about it on one platform, I would maybe have two of you in this room right now. Because people are busy. They're not like constantly stalking you and looking at your stuff. So you've got to keep reminding them. So instead of just posting it once, I got to repurpose content across different platforms and recycle different ideas for different days and actually make it easier on myself while still reaching the maximum number of people. Repetition really is how people remember you. You want them to associate you with a certain topic, because if they don't remember you with that topic, they don't think of you when they're ready to buy. So this is basically like conditioning 101. We are conditioning our customers or our future customers to associate us with a certain topic. And yes, my last name is Pavlov. So if there's anyone that is qualified to say that, it's me. Okay, moving on. Repetition helps build patterns. Repetition is your best friend. Did anyone get that joke? Get it? Because I repeated the slide. Okay, thank you. Can we have a moment for the joke that didn't land? Moving on, next slide. This is something we need to talk about, and I think this is also going to alleviate some of your anxiety around numbers, because a lot of you are making your content decisions based on the wrong scoreboard. You're looking at things like views and likes and followers and basing on that whether your content worked or it didn't. But meanwhile, some of the most profitable content on the internet looks like it's flopping. And that's because your content, it's not about going viral. That's not the goal here. The goal is to get the right people to pay attention and what they do after. Okay. So you don't need 10 million people watching you. You just need the right 10 people watching. Let me ask you guys, has anyone ever followed someone for months, never liked a single post, never commented, and then one day you signed up for something of theirs? Maybe it's even this workshop, that's actually how I got my first coach. I never liked her. I was kind of lurking for a full year and just loving her content, but not really being vocal about it. I never bought any of her mini stuff. And then one day I decided to pony up for the full package. And a lot of you are not realizing that some of your most quietest people end up becoming your customers. If my coach had looked at her analytics from some of the posts, she might have thought that they were a flop. Meanwhile, I'm thinking this woman is about to change my life and she has no idea. And I guarantee you that is happening to you. Your biggest fans don't always go that extra step because they're intimidated by you. So please understand that vanity metrics are not what pays your bills, and connection is. And that connection doesn't always look like views or follows or likes. It can look like someone quietly watching or saving your content to refer to later, or just thinking about you before they're ready to act. So instead of asking yourself if your piece of content got a lot of likes, start asking yourself if it made the right person feel seen, or if it sounds like you, or if someone would trust you more after this. Because when your content sounds like you, your people are going to stick around. Okay, one last one. And this one might be my favorite because I think a lot of you believe that if you're going to show up online, that it needs to look a certain way with like good lighting, perfect background, scripted. And we just don't need that anymore. You can literally record something in your car. And if what you're saying actually hits, it's going to outperform the perfectly produced video that someone else spent 5 hours making. Um, did anyone see the video of the McDonald's CEO super uncomfortably eating that burger? Okay, good. Enough of you have seen it. I was going to show the video, but I want to actually save more time for hot seats. So I might just include that in the recap video if you have no idea what I'm talking about. But this McDonald's CEO, it was so uncomfortable to watch him. You could tell he was like, okay, this is how humans eat, right? And it's like the camera is straight on. He's not interacting with everyone. It looks like he's being interrogated. And people roasted the heck out of him. And it was very professionally done. And then the Burger King CEO responded, and he's just sitting there, standing there in the kitchen, not looking at the camera. I think there was like mayo dripping off of his lip. And guess which one people connected with more? You already know. I don't have to tell you. It wasn't the one that looked or tried to be perfect. It was the one that felt real. And that's because people aren't looking for perfect or polished or produced, especially with all this AI going on right now, right? We are craving real and relatable and authentic. So you guys want to be perfectionists in your content, but that perfection actually creates distance. Authenticity is what is creating your connection. And the problem is that a lot of you are trying to manufacture that authenticity. And I don't blame you. We haven't really been taught anything else. But the second that you try to force it, that's actually what makes it disappear. So again, I'm going to say you are not bad at content. You're just trying to do it alone. Because when you're alone, you overthink, you edit yourself, you try to get it right. But when you're in a conversation, you're faster, you're clearer, you're more yourself. And that version of you is the version that people actually want. So let's get into some hot seats. All right. Here's where the magic happens. I'm trying to jump back into where people said hot seat. Okay, Lindsay wants a hot seat. Come on up, Lindsay.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. So what these hot seats are going to be is I just want to show you what happens in a conversation with me and what that sounds like and what that feels like. Before we start, Lindsay, just give us your spiel. Who are you and what do you do?
All right. I am the founder of Commonwealth Collective. We have a small agency focused on women and female led brands starting communities of their own. We focus on strategy and done for you deliverables around memberships, education, retreats, events. Yeah, that's my spiel.
How do you feel saying that?
Pretty good. It's first cup of coffee. I'm in Pacific time, so it's still a little early.
If you had to say that again without trying to sound professional, if you're just really breaking it down, just keep keying with us, say it again.
I'm the founder of Commonwealth Collective, and we help women nurture their relationships to build community.
I want to take this a little bit further because people don't necessarily walk around thinking to themselves, man, I really wish I could build my community, right? It's not something that we typically, it's like a high level overview of what you do, right? But tell me what you really give women. Talk to me like I am someone who's thinking of signing up for Commonwealth Collective, and tell me about the power of community, what that's going to do for me.
So, in my belief, community helps create endless opportunities for collaboration and connection, which then translates into marketing that kind of fights against the never ending algorithms. Because when you have people in connection with you, you're able to connect with them in a much more authentic, natural, organic way. And you don't have to fight up against all of the paid ads and AI spaces that we're seeing.
What I love about what you did there is that you brought in the pain points. Great. Because that is one of the first things that we want to do in our content. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but just real quick, last week I was at a pitch competition. I was advising for the School of Business down here, and almost every single contestant jumped right into the solution without talking about the problem. And it's very much like a dating scenario where you can't just walk up to someone in a bar and say, hey, do you want to sleep with me? You have to woo them first. Like you have to get them there, right? So, Lindsay, if you're saying, like, I help women build community, when you're touching on why the things that they've been struggling with before the community, that's what people really connect to is, oh my God, I'm experiencing it. Those types of things are your qualifiers for people who are going to buy from you. So if you are describing exactly what they're feeling, then you know that your solution is for them. Let them qualify themselves by pointing out their pain points. And what really works well is when things are scenario based. So, Lindsay, can you tell me? I want you to think about someone in your community, maybe someone who's already in your community, and tell me what she was experiencing before she joined your community that you helped her.
Sure. So one of our first contracts was with a SaaS company. So an app that provided a service, and their churn was really high. So they would have users come on and experiment and then not resubscribe and leave. And so their pain point was that they had an incredible solution for problems that their users had, but they weren't able, again, same thing, to communicate that in a way that created connection within their app. And so that was one of our first roles, one of my first roles as the consultant, to step in and be able to reduce their churn and create education for them that actually taught their users how to utilize their tool that then solved the problems and the pain points that increased their subscriptions.
Okay, you got us there. You took a little bit to get us there, but this is also why, like, filming yourself is great too, because then we can just edit stuff down too. You know, it's like, what do we like? We take what we like and we leave the rest. But did you guys see how specific that scenario was? And it's not just specific to one person. Like, yes, not everyone might be dealing in like the SaaS space. And so maybe we don't specifically say SaaS, but the frustration that Lindsay described, that is what is so tangible to people. You want to make them feel something in your content, and you don't make them feel something by just describing what you do. You make them feel something by describing what they're feeling. And then that's when you can start to get into your own magic. So Lindsay, what the let's say, what changes for your clients after working with you?
There are opportunities to create specifically like collaborative relationships. So my strategy is focused on dream clients, people who buy from you, power partners, collaborative partners who speak to your same audience, and aligned brands. So other opportunities for revenue. And the power partners is always the thing that I feel our clients don't have an awareness around, is like how to build community with other people that you may identify as competitors, and instead shift that narrative into becoming connection points and ways that you can actually support each other in a really effective, strategic way, not just in a love and light kind of way.
I want you to try this. Can you explain it to me at the lowest level? Let's pretend that I am in middle school and you're telling me about your program. Tell me about it now.
Well, give me a pain point in middle school. Like, what is a pain point that I
I just,
can?
I'm not your, sorry, I mean to say that just to mean it on like a lower level. You're not trying to like recruit this middle schooler. It's career day and you're telling her about what you do.
Okay, so we take your friends and we figure out in your friend group who are the friends that you have the best opportunity to create new projects with. And then how do you sit down with that friend in a way that feels really fun and connecting and gives you like space to create that's really enjoyable for you both?
Do you guys see how that was a little bit more tangible in the fact that you don't need to overcomplicate these things. We just want to hear like I don't want to say like get to the point, because it's not that you weren't getting to the point, but we just want to fluff it down a little bit. Like, if we want to capture someone's attention, we really need to speak to them like we are speaking in conversation. So just I want you to do it one more time. And this might be a little untraditional, but can you do this like you're drunk? I just want you to your guard is still a little bit up, right? And like your thing is all about connection. So I want to see like when we get rid of the inhibitions, what that sounds like. So just talk to me. I'll kick it off, okay? I'm gonna be your drunk bestie. I did not plan to be fake drunk at 12:30 on a Friday, but here we are, guys. Oh yeah, Lindsay, everyone is saying your program is so good. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so we basically help you come together with all of your girlfriends and hang out and talk about your big ideas in a way that everybody gets something beneficial out of so that you can go out into the world and enjoy your job.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh my God. Yes, excellent drunk pitch. So now listen, I'm not recommending that you guys have a glass. I mean, I'm sober, so I certainly never would, but the point isn't to be drunk while you're doing this. The point is to loosen up. And that's what I want you guys to feel. And I also don't expect you to be loose right now within like 2 seconds of conversing with me, but I hope that you can see how once we start to get into this and get into the flow, more of that realness comes out. Again, your customers, your future customers, they're not looking for this perfect polished pitch. They're looking for just simplify it. How is it going to change my life? So awesome job, Lindsay. And there's obviously like so much more we can do here, but in the interest of time, and Lindsay said, Nisha said, Lindsay, the last two pitches really sold what you are doing. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Michelle Hornoff Cohen.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to have you here. So same question, just to kick it off, just tell us who you are and what you do.
Great. So my name is Michelle, and are you sick of the ick? So if you are in an area with mandatory curbside pickup, you know already the ickiness, the grossness of having to keep food scraps on your counter before you toss them out. So I invented the compost collector. It sits on your counter, collects your food scraps for up to 7 days, and then on garbage day, you just fill it, seal it, and toss it. So that is what I am, and I do every day is garbage.
Great. Do you guys see how she started with the question? We love starting with questions. If you can ask a question that you know your ideal client or audience is going to say yes to, you've hooked them. Because why wouldn't they want to listen at that point, right? So the only thing I would say, Michelle, is that the question was, are you sick of the ick? And unless people know your brand, they ain't gonna know what the hell that means. So
I'm trying to back into it.
Yeah. So, I hope everyone here is okay with a little bit of constructive criticism because that's how
it's really great. And I don't know how to get there. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah. But I think it's great that you started with an engaging question, but maybe again, it's more scenario based. And then at the end, you start with the branding of, and that's why you'll never be sick with the ick again or whatever it is. What would be the simplest way to say what your product is?
It's a kitchen countertop container that you put food scraps in.
And what's the biggest problem that your clients are struggling with right now?
The ick factor. So the problem is that in many areas, there's mandatory composting. People don't want to do it. They're not doing it. So they need a vessel to get it from their countertop to the outside curb. So something and right now there's just what the garbage company gives us sucks. That's why I made this product.
Is this like a local rule or with the composting?
So no, it's all of California is now required to have mandatory in all 5 boroughs in New York, and so it's spreading.
Okay. I'm in Florida. They're like, we don't give
Yeah.
a crap.
Yeah, you're never going to.
I apologize because I'm not familiar with the composting thing. So, okay.
Right.
So this is like instantly a recognizable issue, right? But maybe
It's not though. That's the problem. It's like
well,
I feel like I have to educate.
yes. But so here's where we're going to simplify it. Instead of like talking about the composting, it's more like, do you hate having germs on your hand or like that feeling of being icky? I want you to focus on the feeling of feeling icky and some of the scenarios where your product helps people to get rid of the ick on their hands. Like what's a scenario? Maybe you've just gotten out of the shower and you want to remain clean and it's not on your agenda to go take the compost out or whatever. Stick with scenarios that are more instantly recognizable than the composting.
Okay.
How do you feel about giving me an example of that right now?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay. So, oh, that smell. The smell. Can you smell it? It's just gross. And now I have to move this whole container outside and I don't want to touch it because I don't know what I put in there a few days ago, but it's disgusting. It's just gross. And now I have to pick this up and move it out. Ugh, I wish I had something. I wish I had something that could get it from my kitchen counter out to the curb. This is just nasty.
Love the shift in that from the first one to the next one because it really was relatable. It was humorous because humor disarms people. We didn't even get into talking about that yet, but I feel like your energy too. Let's talk about that for a second. Your energy was incredible as you give it because people are attracted to other people's energy. So that's another important thing about being in this kind of conversational mode is that our energy changes. When you're just staring at the camera screen and you're like, okay, what am I going to say? It's really hard to have that energy that I just saw in you. But then when I gave you that specific direction, it was great. I mean, I can envision so much fun content for you with the ick and all these disgusting situations that you can talk about that are attention grabbing. So great job. I love it. Let me see if I have one more kind of like scenario, and then I want to do one more. If you had 5 seconds to sell me your product, what would you say?
Fill it, seal it, toss it. Get rid of the ick.
Okay. All right. That's the new tagline. I love it. All right. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's do one more. Vicky, you are up. And we need to unmute you.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I'm the founder of Beauty Massage Pros. I teach professional facial and foot massage.
Okay.
So, I guess part of what I do is show people how to assess their clients and give them little things to do instead of a whole routine, and maybe make a sale with a gua sha stone that targets a specific area. And I try to keep things simple and understandable.
So what do you think that your clients are struggling with the most?
I guess finding good classes. I mean, I'm not sure. Classes that are affordable. I would say, from my perspective, I know how much money goes into these professions. They pay for licensing and other stuff. So this isn't a selling point, but it's something I think about. So I don't know how this is going to sound, but when I teach a class, I set a limit on how much it's going to cost. And then with all the years of experience I have, I bring in tools that do the job, but I source them so they're less expensive to me, and I can give my students a good deal and still give them the skills that they're looking for.
Okay. I want you to think about if someone's scrolling on Instagram and they just see like, we have the most affordable course or we have the cheapest course. It's not necessarily something that gets you to stop the scroll because there's not enough perceived value in it. So I want you to really start with why do these people need you? What are they struggling with that they need you?
I actually sell complete routines. When I do a class, I show them how to use that tool in it by itself, and then how you can implement together. And I take the whole class and I blend everything together. So I teach how to build protocols, how to listen to the clients with what they need, and how you can help them with their home care.
Okay. So basically their problem then is that they don't know how to use this tool. And you are teaching them how to use the tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would be the other alternative? Would it be another class or learning it themselves on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure what I teach isn't on YouTube.
Okay.
Uh,
No, that's a good
so,
thing. Yeah, we're just
yeah.
trying to figure out like what at the end of the day we're trying to figure, and this is for everyone. At the end of the day, we're trying to figure out how do we get people to give us their money? What
Yeah.
we need to say. So the beginning of that is to Christine, mute yourself. And welcome to the party. At the end of the day, we need to figure out first like what they are really struggling with. So it sounds like they're struggling with they can't learn this on YouTube. It basically sounds like they need the only option is the class.
Right.
Right.
I would say that I would say being able to just put a whole facial massage together, or foot massage together with the right purpose in mind, and I really don't know what else to say about it.
That's okay. That's what I'm here to pull out of you.
Mhm.
What do people learn? What do they walk away with when they work with you?
The sensations. They have great. I have tools. I have like these goat hair brushes that are amazingly soft and fun to use, with facial drainage brushes that I include an entire kit that they get with the course, which a lot of instructors don't do, and that makes it really fun.
And I think that I do love that because that is like one of your upsells. But I think that like my kind of overarching comment for you is that we really need to focus more on the feeling, because every time I'm asking you a question, you're immediately going to like features and products, which is great for like the website and listing out what they get. But when you're talking to someone, you have to capture that feeling of how they're going to feel working with you. I mean, I've spent 45 minutes with you guys right now, and I've never once mentioned like how my programs work or anything like that. I'm just kind of like vibing with everyone and showing you what it feels like to work with me, essentially. So your content needs to do the same thing. So my kind of homework assignment for you, which if you've worked with me, you know that I like to give homework, but homework makes progress. But I really want you to think deeply about what you're actually giving these I'm not sure if it's just women or women and men, but is it peace of mind because they don't have to search anymore of how to use this product? Are you going to help them get more money when they work with you? Really, and this is a lot of what I do in my Pop Into Your Power program, is really helping people find that brand messaging by starting with who is your client, what are they truly struggling with, like the underneath stuff, not the surface stuff, and what do they truly want? Again,
That was really helpful because it is a place of creativity with this,
Yeah.
and it makes it really fun.
Well, make it fun.
Yeah.
It's your job to make it fun too, because you have the ability. It's your social media to create that vibe. Like I'm someone who creates a fun vibe on my social media. So really start to like think about that stuff and add it into your social, and you'll be on your way. And if you specifically want to talk about pop into your power, I think that you're someone who would really benefit from it, and I'm here for that. So I only have 13 minutes. I don't know. I kind of almost want to do a part 2. So maybe we'll think about doing a part 2, but I do have to move on from the hot seats for right now. But I want you to think about what you just saw and some of the content that you heard like coming out of people's mouths versus when they first started talking. What we just did, that's like exactly how my new program works. You talk, I guide, we capture the good stuff, and it turns into a full month of content. Because I know that you guys are not going to leave here today and sit down and batch content and magically become consistent. Because you have a business to run. That's what you're trying to do. You're not here to make content. So, did you notice how different it felt when people were just talking versus just trying to make content? So we need a better way to get your thoughts out of your head and into content before you guys have time to self-sabotage them. Okay, so if you're sitting here thinking that this is what you've been missing, I want to show you what it actually looks like. I created something that is not a course. It's not a content calendar. It's just me and you once a month pulling the best content. I'm pulling the best content out of your brain, and we're turning it into a full month of deliverables. So this is called Content for People Who Hate Content. And I built this in 3 tiers based on how you want to show up. This is the founding pricing, as this is a new program. This is the only time I'm ever going to offer this pricing, just to let you know. So tier 1 is virtual. That's for anyone who is not in my immediate South Florida area. We meet on Riverside once a month. I give you all these deliverables, the 1 long form video, short clips, carousel posts, and all the captions written for you. This all comes from our 1 hour conversation. Literally, all you have to do is sit there with me for an hour. I will interview you and then turn it into your month of content. So this is $597 a month. Tier 2 is for my in-person people, Broward, Miami-Dade, Palm Beach County. This is, you don't get to hide behind your screen in this one, but the content just hits a little bit differently. So we meet up at a location of yours, and we'll do the same thing. Conversation, you get real-time coaching and direction and all the same deliverables as tier 1. And then tier 3, this is really exciting for people who are in my area. I've partnered with the Social Arch Studio in Boca Raton to create a complete studio package if you really do want that enhanced look. I know I said you don't need it. Some people love it. Some people want that. And there's not some people that's part of their branding, and that is totally fine. So if that sounds like you, then you definitely need the studio experience, where we'll meet at Social Arts Studio in Boca Raton and you get all the same stuff, but we'll also do some B-roll. You get a multi-camera setup, so you get different shots and just that elevated studio performance. And that is $1597 a month. So because these are not like templates, and I am actually devoting all of my time for like being in this with you, I can only take on a small number of people right now. So for this first round, I'm opening up 6 spots. And because you guys are here live, I said this founding price is the lowest it's ever going to be offered. So that means you get in now and you lock in this rate for the year before everything goes up. So if you are truly ready to stop overthinking this and just have your content handled, this is your next step. Okay. Option 1, if you're like, I have questions, I'm not really sure, I want to talk this through, Scan the QR code on the left. It takes you to to my Calendly link for a quick 15-minute meeting. We'll talk it out. Maybe you're thinking that you really don't have the base of your brand voice and your ideal client, and maybe you need the Pop Into Your Power program to get there. We can talk about that too. That's something totally separate. But if you're sitting there and you're like, yes, this is exactly what I need, I don't need to overthink this, then just grab your spot. Both links are there. You can pick the path that feels like you. Either way, these spots are first come, first serve. And whatever path you take, I just want to say that if something clicked for you today, like even if you had the smallest voice in your head that was thinking, oh, okay, like this is what's been off. Don't ignore that. That is the exact moment that most people say, oh yeah, this makes so much sense. I'll do it later. And then nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So you'll keep overthinking, you'll keep avoiding, and you'll stay in that same cycle. And I know it's not because you don't care. It's because you go back to doing it alone. So this isn't even necessarily a decision about content. It's a decision about if you want to keep doing this the hard way or if you want support with it. Because a month from now, you could still be thinking about posting, still rewriting the same captions, still hitting record, or you could have a full month of content done that actually sounds like you. And you didn't have to sit there and think about what you were going to say for 5 hours. So if you're ready for that, the links are there. No pressure. Also a little bit of pressure. So we do have a little bit more time than I thought. I want to open it up to any questions if you have them. How do I get my Zoom screen back? Awesome. Thank you guys so much. If anyone has any questions. Oh, Liz, yes.
I'm so sorry if I missed this. Hi, everybody. I'm Liz. Hi, Jill. Your haircut is fucking fierce, girl. Yes.
Thank
I
you.
saw you. I was like, you're so cool. I'm sorry if I missed this. Is this for a year? Like, how long are we locking in for at the monthly rate? What is that?
So this is a month-to-month program. That being said, I'm not going to lock anyone in for a year, but I do ask that you stick with me for 3 months so that we can, because 1 month is not enough to 1 month is obviously enough to get you the content, but I want you to stick with me for 3 months so that we see the results. We can tweak them based on engagement. So this isn't like I'm going to lock you in and sue you if you decide that you no longer want to do the program. But again, like in good faith, let's at least stick together for 3 months so that we can see how it goes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for asking. That was a great question.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any questions? Should I do one more hot seat? Jump back into that? Was anyone, let me go back through the chat. Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm glad that you're feeling inspired and clarified. And yeah, I'm really hoping that you do see that content doesn't have to be your enemy. We can make it fun. Christine or anyone that came in late, I will be sending out the replay with all of the information and the video. Yes, there's a recording. So I'm going to send out the replay to everyone so you can have this, look at it. And I think in that case, pain points is my buzzword. Yes, I'm loving reading this chat. Oh, you guys have been so much fun today. We'll just leave it there. I'll give everyone another. Oh, I thought you were saying question, Lindsay. You're just waving goodbye. Thank you to everyone who participated. Lindsay, Vicky, Michelle, thank you guys so much. And go off and make great content. Bye.